Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here, and in this video I'm going to talk about why I think developers, rehabbers, other investors, builders, basically other investors that fix properties up, make them nice, and want to sell them to the end buyer, basically flippers, why I think they're a great source. They're a great source specifically for wholesale and lease purchase leads. And I'll give you 3 reasons. And this came about just from making a ton of Fsbo calls. I've recently run out of landlord calls. As you probably noticed, most of my calls tend to be they were landlords. And since I've run out of those 4 rent by owner leads, I've been calling a lot of the Fsbo leads in my market. And they've tended to be, most of them have been these developers that I mentioned, like entry only leads, really investors, other flippers that don't want to use a real estate agent because they want to save on the commission and net the most that they can. So I'm going to post more of those calls coming up, live seller calls, and let's get into it. So the first reason why I believe that other developers and builders are a great source for wholesale and lease purchase is because the home is already in immaculate condition, right? They've already done the research, they've already done the work, they've already created the product, right? And the product being a nice single family home in a great area. That's what your end buyer, your lease purchase buyer, is gonna want when it comes to wholesale and lease purchase. They're gonna want a nice home, ideally no repairs, and in a good area. And that's what the developers have already done for you. They've done the research, they know which neighborhoods to buy homes in, they know how to renovate homes. And a lot of times they're not able to sell for the price that they want, right? Because there's a small percentage of people that can qualify with a bank today, roughly 20% or less, versus the 80% that you work in that can't qualify today, just need a little time to do so. And usually within 18 and 24 months, they will be able to. So that's your market. Their market is a 20%. They don't know much about how to work with the 80%. That's what you specialize in. That's what you have to get across to them, right? As far as that you can help them net the most for it. And while you still get paid and it doesn't come out of their net. Once you have that pitch down, then they're gonna be open to working with you. But again, the first reason why I think it's a great source of leads is because the product is already in great condition. And that makes it a lot easier to sell. So the second reason why I think developers are a great source is because they already understand what your model, once you explain it to them, they'll have a much easier time understanding what you do versus a traditional homeowner, right, who's not in the business. And not only that, they also, because they understand, they'll also understand that they need you. And a lot of these rehabbers, they do multiple ones per month, right? So they come across homes that they're not able to sell for top dollar for the price that they want. And what they end up doing is renting it out to a traditional tenant, right? And when they rent it out to a traditional tenant, they tend to not take care of the home as well. They might damage it a little bit, right, over the course of the term. And they're also more hassle to deal with, right? Because now the investor has to fix the toilets, all that stuff. They have to take care of the maintenance, the repairs, all that. Versus if you put a buyer in the home, it's a completely different mindset for the investor. It's a completely different mindset from the buyer, because again, they put down 3 to 10%. They have skin in the game. They're gonna qualify for the home at the end of the day. They see it as if it's their home, and therefore they take care of all the expenses and treat it as so, meaning a lot less headaches for the end investor, and a predetermined price up front. And usually that price is market value that they were looking for. We don't get much hassle trying to get the price that we're looking for, and they'll collect more than they would if it was first, last, and security, which is the most that they can collect in my state. I usually split that option deposit with them, so that they'll end up netting more up front doing it that way as well, and at the end of the day over the course of the 18 to 24 month term. So if you can explain it in layman's terms, simple, kind of how I just did with you, then they'll understand it much easier than a homeowner, and they'll understand that it's a good backup, right? What you are to them is a good backup option, and they're a lot easier to deal with, at least to communicate with, I found, from investor to investor. So the third reason why developers are a great source of leads is because they could potentially be recurring business down the line, right? A lot of these developers / rehabbers, they do multiple projects. If it's not per month, they do maybe 2 or 3 per year, whatever the number that they do, it's recurring business. And anytime they come across a home, again, that doesn't sell for top dollar, you could be that backup option that they go to each and every time. So you might be able to, once you earn their trust and you take on a property and you fill it successfully with a lease purchase buyer, and you earn half of the option deposit, whatever it is that you negotiate with them, then they're going to want to come back to you next time when they have that house that doesn't sell, or when for whatever reason they don't want to. I mean, another incentive is whenever they cash out under a year, let's say they buy it and they fix it and they sell it under a year, they're going to pay capital gains. They're going to pay more taxes on that because it's sold less than a year, versus if they hold it for a little over a year, then they can net a lot more doing it that way because they pay less in taxes. So all I'm saying is it could be potentially recurring business for you. And yeah, I mean, so just think about it. You do business with one person and they're gonna bring you more and more deals. So those were 3 reasons why I think rehabbers and developers are a great fit and a great source of leads specifically for wholesale and lease purchase. And yeah, so look out for future videos. The next live seller calls, I'll probably include some builders in there that I've had conversations with. And let me know what you think. Let me know in the comment section if you agree, if you've had conversations with other builders, how the conversations have gone, if you think they're also a good source, and if you have any other good sources, let me know. But I hope this video was helpful. Again, look out for future videos. The next live seller call, I'll be sure to include a builder call so that you can kind of relate and see how this video applies to what I'm saying, to the conversation that you'll hear. All right, so once again, thank you for watching, and look out for the next one.